Yeah, sorry, you know.
Whenever you're ready.
Shagga! Totally sorry. That was me, Nate. Shagga, can you hear me?
Here we go.
Right, can you hear me?
Yes. Right.
You
Jerry.
fucking see me, never mind. Fucking hear me.
He's alive.
Okay.
Jerry, you want to send that up? No, all right. Facebook. And we'll get started. Yes, yeah.
You speak. Let's go there. Let's go, you last crescent bastard.
Yeah, anything. So, yeah, it's all there. Right, we're now live on air. Please do not swear.
Totally will not. My dog's swearing in the background there.
Everyone, welcome to our first NESW live. It's an absolute honor to have the big man himself, Ray, as our first guest. This Saturday, obviously, we're in Coastal Newcastle.
County Down.
County Down, hey. And on the lineup on Saturday, obviously, is the main man X-Ray. We have Dilly Circus. We've got Chris Davies.
All the ball.
A host of all local talent. Show starts at 5:30 and we're there to 1:30. Just let it. Just let a few more people join in here. Yeah, right. Right, looks like we're good. Right, Ray, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
You know, from a musical journey that started in Lacey's up in Coleraine. Hi. Yeah. Suppose, you know, we could be here all week talking about the career you've had, but probably the best one to start would be 93 with the residency and Kelly's. Just how did that come about, you know, and the years that you had there in Kelly's, you know.
Yeah, I think maybe the best way to address that would be Angie and Julie, a couple of girls that I knew from school. I walked up the back of the bus one day and they said, "Oh, we've got a job for you in the new nightclub." It was over at Lacey's in Coleraine, doing the cloakroom. And I was like totally overwhelmed by that, by the way. So I went home and asked my mom and dad, could I actually do that? Because I think he was only 14. And they were like, "Oh, no, you're going to have to," you know. So they spoke about it for a while. I think I went upstairs to sleep. And I come back down and says, "Yeah, your dad said it's okay." Even though my dad had been involved in the music scene over the years, he obviously knew that the whole thing behind it wasn't just about music. You know, for me, for my understanding at that point of the game was like he was probably trying to protect me from what music the scene was. You know, it wasn't just about music. It was about like fucking
yeah.
It was about like a scene where sometimes you maybe not be accepted, sometimes you would have been, and that stage of the game, I didn't know nothing about it until I actually started being a DJ, which was in 1988
Yeah.
on Valentine's Day, which had a sketch where it was like you're doing the lights now. I had a job doing the cloakroom, and then I was up one night like fiddling about with the lights. Whilst I was doing the cloakroom, and the boss seen me what I was doing. He's going, "Get the fuck out of there," which was totally fucking true. And about 2 or 3 weeks later, he came down and said to me, he goes, "Right, you knew you were doing up there, so that's your new job. He's not coming back." That sort of progressed on from doing the lights to doing a bit of DJing before the actual DJ, which was called Barry Euler. And this was the latest nightclub in Korea in 1988. I was still in school at the time. One of the reasons why I got the job was because of Jason McMullen, another DJ from the North Coast at the time, who was in the same year as the school as me.
Yeah.
And he was DJing, doing the same thing I was, basically fucking doing the lights and then putting on some music before the actual DJ, which you were told to keep the lights down and keep the music down until this DJ came on. That DJ was Barry Euler. That sort of progressed on from, I think it was around 97, and then coming into like Valentine's Day 1988, where one of the DJs didn't turn up, and then the owner that said to me, "Oh, this is your night tonight. These guys aren't coming in. You have to, fill in here." And I'm like, "Listen, what the fuck I do?" So I sort of threw into the deep end.
Yeah.
So that was Valentine's Day 1988. And there was like loads of people who I can still now relate to who actually worked there. Samantha Hamill, Justin Moore. There was actually loads, people I can think, but Polly McCrudden, Rachel, and I'm just like fucking scanning back through the years here. So it got to the stage where I was actually able to go and DJ as a full-time job. People I can think, but Polly McCrudden. There's a lot of feedback there happening. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Right, yeah. So there's a lot of feedback happening there. There was loads of names that I can mention, that took me back from them, but those are probably the main ones. For them, they turn around and say, "Listen, that's your job now," and at that age, I'm probably just leaving school. So I was only about 16. I joined the YTP at the time, which was like the fucking 29.50 fucking a week people. So that was 89, and I sort of moved on there from Lacey's to do the DJ at the ice rink, which was called the Jet Center, which was just a big ice rink. And I remember like I kind of had a job in Savile Row Shoe Company, where I said to my dad, "Listen, I want to go and do this," even though he was a music man.
Yeah.
Over the years, he was the guy dead against it, saying, "No, listen, go and do a fucking trade or do what you have to do," and but obviously, like any father, your son never listens to you, do they go against whatever you're about, and that was totally what my dad was about. He, even though he was in the fucking music business for 40 years, he still had a full-time job, and that's what he was kind of concentrating on, and said to me, going, "Oh, you need to get a full-time job behind you, blah, blah, keep that as a sideline." Now I realise that, 37 years later, I realise that you kind of do need a full-time job. You kind of do need to be bona fide in some sort of way of working and achieving some sort of thing outside music. And I never really got to realise that until the last year, which is where we are here today. And there was such a
qualifying in some sort of way of working.
vibe where it was just a rolling fucking sketch where bit by bit happened after that. You know, I was working in the Jet Center and left the fucking shirt company, and I was doing things, and then
You know,
I went down to Kelly's one night and seen Chill FM and people like that. And I just sort of went backstage with them. I don't know how the fuck I got there, but I got to know them all really well. Ian and Tony from Harmony, and obviously they were like didn't know who I was, and they were just willing to see how far I would go to actually be one of their DJs. So
Yeah.
sent me up to Belfast along with I had to give out flyers. You know, well, there's 5,000 flyers, you know, and we were standing at the Botanic fucking station. Some people where Botanic was just at the back, you know, and giving out flyers. We've done that for religiously for fucking 3 or 4 events.
Yeah.
Until they said to me, well, listen, your next gig is along with Fox and Kelly's, Love the Kid, Harmony 9. And that to me was like probably one of the best things I'd ever heard in my life. You know, at that point in the game, I was running a record shop in Korea called Fresh Underground. I was just bringing all the latest music into the North Coast.
Yeah.
You know, but dance music just didn't happen then. It was happening 4 or 5 years before that. You know, along with Brian Miranda fucking tracks, or you know, the rave scene coming into Chris Hurley in '91. You know, those are big influences, not just for me, but for loads of DJs. You know, during that time, especially Brian, because Brian had been doing loads of stuff. You know, from like what I'd ever seen as a kid. I remember the two sisters taking me to tracks on a Thursday night. Must have been 1987, and like fucking I had to go to school the next day, you know. So I was like too young to get in, even though they knew some of the bouncers were, oh, Mickey McCaffrey, let him in, it's my wee brother. If it hadn't been for that, you know, I would never have got influenced of like Brian or playing early dance music, R&B. You know, it wasn't just about rave or whatever, you know. It was just early dance music, which was going on in the scene at that time.
Yeah.
And I have to look back at them days and go, wow. That's where it all started happening. Not just for me, but for probably DJs all over the country. You know, I might being at one Saturday night or one Thursday night, and Brian Murd giving a shout out to all the DJs in the house out, and Mark Wesley from Cool Living. And Mark Wesley, probably one of the pioneers of dancing over here. You know, and me saying to myself, wow, you know, to be called out on a night like this as a DJ, you know, and that was in around 1990, to be honest, you know. And about 2 years later, I got that chance. Excuse me, sorry. I got that chance to actually play in tracks, you know, in and around the time Felix Don't You Want Me when I was playing bassline, kicking, yes, I'm grooving, all that sort of stuff. And Brian, who until this day remains like, I remember not just like from Brian always give people a chance. You know,
yeah,
enough to give people a chance, even right up to the NA Old School nights in around 1998, 1999. No, actually, it's probably after that. Actually, it's probably about 2006. They probably in there. You know, I remember standing along with coffee in the basement of tracks, which was called the Shunters. And they're organising the first NA Old School night. You know, and that was after like NA Old School revival, where we used to stay up until fucking 5 o'clock in the morning and talk to each other. Yeah, that's how I met you guys.
Yeah.
So that was fresh for everybody, you know.
Absolutely.
The younger generation, for us, for me, and Brian doesn't realise that what they sort of created, he created, to giving us that chance to get back in there again. And even though we've been doing nights with with like
Yeah.
Hickey and Sharky and the Bubbles thing and Scooter or whatever. You know, he was giving us a fresh start then on a Friday night, and we were all a part of that. We were all a part of that website, which to me was the most influential thing that ever happened to dance music, old school vibe in this country. You know, it brought you know, it's a bit cringy when you say this here, but I remember going on and searching on Nitro Torch.
And we were all a part of that.
X-Ray and Bin Man.
Website,
It's coming up to download. It took you fucking 8 hours, you know, to download, you know, one mix. And I was saying,
Hoping the internet didn't cut out.
yeah, no, but this is after all the Kelly's things that happened. No,
Yeah.
it's after the big rave thing that we'd done down in Kelly's or wherever, Intelligence. That was all past. You know, we thought we were fucking has-beens, which we actually were.
Yeah.
It was a different story. We weren't a fucking has-been. We weren't, we were just like
the big
people
rave
who love fucking music.
or wherever, Intelligence. That was all past.
It's not doing myself talking to you.
Yeah, and you're saying about the NIO school in 2005, like, you know, taking it back, I was a teenager, 12 and 13, listening to your tapes, and then you go from there, you know, looking through Baseline magazine, you know, an X-ray here, seeing photos, not being able to go to these events, wanting to.
Yeah.
Then NIO school came in 2005, and as you say, it was just a big, massive.
Yeah, well, it really was. Like for me,
you know, for me to even DJ with you, never mind all the friends I made in NIO school, you know, got the DJ Planet Love, everything, more. So,
they
I mean,
were great.
a couple of weeks ago to play the 20-year anniversary, like, you know.
Even for me, they were great times coming out, and like maybe there was like right the way up to Intelligence and Area 51 until, you know, crazy shootings that happened there. You know what I mean? We kind of all parted ways, and that was 2007. And I remember like walking by I moved in with my mate at that time, and going around on Wednesday night looking for fucking Chinese restaurant around the corner, and this guy called John Hatchett, who was a fucking massive fucking radio DJ back in the day, and I seen him at the corner of my eye, and literally it was like the corner of my eye, and he goes, "Hey boy, are you still DJing?" Oh yeah. And this is like 2 weeks after the shootings at fucking Area 51. And I says, "Aye." He goes, "They're looking for a DJ up there on a Thursday and Saturday night up the stairs." And I'm like, going, right, okay. So I'm like going on the way for Chinese, but getting a job at the same time. You know, and always remember that John Hatchett was probably one of the DJs that you kind of looked up to, Barry or John Blair, especially, you know. These guys who never get any recognition at all.
Yeah.
No, never get them because it was before the internet. You know, and you look at yourself, Brian Moore, Alan Simpson, Jerry McAleese, these guys that were putting this, you know, music out, even not even dance music, but fucking music. You know, the guys who were like there before me, you know, there before the rave generation where DJs were thought of something that was great. You know, oh, look at me, I'm a DJ, I'm a fucking, you know, this is before that. And that's why I think that my mentality of it all has just been only a fucking DJ. You know, I'm taking back to one of the last night, one of the first nights I ever played in Lacey's. And I was at a funeral the day. I was telling a story to Parky Lad. Hopefully he's listening. And the best day out the day, fucking rest in peace, Corbs. You know, because he was the life and soul of the party for fucking many a fucking event that we went to. But I was just saying to him, you know, this guy was like coming up to me and going, "Have you any Rod Stewart?" And I'm like, going, "Oh shit." So I was playing another DJ's record. So I was like flicking through these fucking singles, 7-inch singles, and going, "Oh, I don't think I have." He goes, "You're fucking dead outside." You know, just taking it back to the whole school fucking time. You're fucking dead outside. And yeah, that's all. that kind of mentality has always stuck with me. Where as you're only a fucking DJ,
Yeah.
you're not a fucking superstar. You're not somebody who can turn fucking water into fucking skeg. You know, that means skeg. You're not somebody who can make these miraculous fucking things happen. You know, because you're not. You know, you're a music lover.
Yeah.
And that I think that's what doesn't resonate now with the younger generation in music. It's all about like, look at me, I've got like fucking 55 fucking thousand followers in fucking TikTok or whatever, you know, and look at me, I'm shite.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Look at me, I'm fucking shite. If you put a set of 12 tens in front of them or a set of fucking whatever, try and mix them in, they'll not be a DJ anymore.
Yeah.
They won't.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They fucking won't. You know, they won't be somebody who will make their own path.
Yeah.
You know, like Simon or Gary Binman or Tizer or all the rest of them. Everybody had their own path getting into it. You know, and we all intertwined and we all fucking bounced off each other. There's not that anymore.
No.
There will never be any more. There'll never be that in a scene where they'll all come together, even though they didn't know what they were getting into.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They will not believe that, you know, and which is crazy because there's not that anymore. Now I see just like on a daily, weekly basis of like somebody going, "Oh, I'm a DJ now," and, you know, I'm saying to myself, "Oh God, what sort of DJ are you? You know, are you going to be a cunt? You know, are you going to be like fucking down to earth? Are you going to be
on that there, right? Maybe go back to the intelligence days and the whole start of that. And did you know whenever you were making the tapes that the impact that was going on?
no?
You know, in the, like, there was people in Cookstown, there was these just bang, 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 and
nothing about that. I actually only found out about it in 1994.
yeah,
Whenever I went up to visit one of my old teachers in school, just off the cuff kind of vibe, which I mean, poor Bro Wonders, and all you looked in, you know what I mean? And this, my teacher at the time, who I loved, was called Miss Hagen. Or, sorry, Mrs. Was Hagen. She was a French teacher. She was mad as fuck. Oh, Miss Hyman, sorry. And she was an RE teacher, and I always had this like bond with her, you know. And she was nothing going. I'd probably left school from about 5 years, till I went back up there, and I remember looking through the report one day because there's all this shit where, you know, you were going up to school to see your old teacher. You know, there's all this shit now where like fucking armed guards are standing outside it looking to take your head off with a fucking bazooka.
yeah,
No, it wasn't like that. I made her way of men going, "I know your face." Oh, yeah, Ray McLaughlin, you know, class of '89, you know. And she was like, just bewildered that I'd been there. I don't even know how the fuck I was there. No, I didn't know how the fuck I was there, you know. But I was up there. And she was like, "Oh, I remember you." I'm like, yeah. And she goes, "What are you doing now?" I'm like, "I'm a DJ. I'm a DJ now." And this was just around 94, probably a year after we released an intelligence tape. And I think it was Holocaust or other one. With the Hulk face on it. Wait a minute now. That's fucking terrible. But yeah. And I says, "Yeah, I'm a DJ now." She goes, "Oh yeah, yeah." She goes, "DJ what?" Name's DJ X-Ray. And this wee guy at the back, like, just fucking pulled out a personal stereo, which was a big thing at the time, and went, "DJ fucking X-Ray from America." And that's it. That blew my head off because I didn't know that the whole rave scene had filtered into schools, and it did. You know, Darren Devaney, Big D, was one of the guys that told me that, you know, they used to go around the fucking schools selling fucking pirate tapes, you know, for £1 a time or £2 a time, whatever it was. And that to me was a fucking breath of fresh air, even knowing that we had touched out to somebody else.
Yeah.
And not just in Korean, but Port Rush, fucking Enniskillen, Sturban especially, you know, which I hold fucking dear in my heart, you know, because that's where it started for fucking intelligence, you know. Before intelligence, there was a thing called interactive dance with Paul and Hector. And they'd done like fucking 2 or 3 things before it actually became intelligence, you know, which branded off a whole brand before actually things were a brand.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of dance music, you know, there was no other brands out there happening that was like releasing fucking tapes and tracksuits and fucking pencil cases all in the same week. You know, but there wasn't that. And because of the internet, we didn't know. We didn't know what was going
That's
on.
it.
We, you know, it's not even that we didn't know. We probably didn't care because we were just enjoying ourselves, you know, and that's what it was. I was only fucking 18 at that time, you know. Then
Yeah.
was probably 30. That was a joke, Gary. he's probably 26, you know. But again, there was a collaboration of DJs, you know, from that made up intelligence, not just fucking X-Ray Side, Barry Fraser, Ben Man, Tiger, you know. There was like Weed, you know, Medusa, Storm, all the guys that was coming along behind them, you know. There was loads of guys coming up through the ranks who was probably who I wanted to say, wow, did I inspire them, or you know, did he inspire us? You know, whenever I was hearing younger DJs coming on through the ranks, and I was actually standing behind Medusa MCing for one night and Hennessy's, you know, and we spoke about that recently there, as we've done loads of times, you know, over the years, and it wasn't all about us; it was about the music scene. And I think that's what's probably lost nowadays. It's not about the music anymore.
Yeah.
It's about, look at me, I'm a DJ. Look at me, I'm fucking, I've got 25 million fucking followers and YouTube, whatever it's meant to be, you know. This is where it's become.
Yeah.
It's become so detached from what it was, you know. In the early days of Raven and Chris Hurley and Glenn Malloy, all the Northern DJs, Jack O'Gleave, you know, it's so far from that anymore. You know, Robbie Nelson especially. I should have mentioned Robbie. Listen, there's 100 DJs you could probably mention before you can get into what it is now. You know, Delhi. You know, I'm just fucking a violin on here, spouting them all out. You know.
Yeah.
But there's loads of DJs that was probably there before me, you know, done loads of stuff before me. But yet, no, I'm here reciprocating, you know, fucking keeping it, you know, living off other people's names. You know, I'm fucking serious when I say that, you know.
Yeah.
I'm living off a name that I made in Kelly's fucking 2000, or sorry, 1983 to 96, you know, the 2000.
Yeah.
You can't. But yeah, that's what it's fucking, to me, it's all about the music, you know, and I think that's what's died and it all, you know, the image is actually taken over from the music. You know? No, it hasn't. I see the people who were, you know, all for the music back in the day, you know, promoters, fucking other DJs and all the rest of it. It's all about money for them.
Yeah.
The DJs that they hear in the 90s, they'll fucking put on in the 2020s. You know, totally true. Where boys like me and Simon and Ben Man and, you know, every career in that fucking time, we're all about the music. It was never about an ego. Never, and never will be in my eyes. You know, we love the music, we love the buzz, we love going to places, you know, and getting stopped with fucking 15 checkpoints in the way there. You know, in the 90s, and that's how it was. You know, like you stop fucking, you know, in Sturban fucking maybe 5 times before you reached the other side of it. You know, you were stopped in Oma fucking 10 times before you reached Enniskillen. you know, it was that kind of like edgy vibe. You know, you were getting home at 6 o'clock in the morning, your fucking partner was hitting you a fucking punch in the mouth because you were home late. You know, that's true, Bill. It was, you know, the music was, which I think has lost its way. You know, in this term, it's all about look at me. I've got like fucking 10,000 followers on Instagram, and or look at me, I've got 100,000 followers on Instagram. You know, I am the next biggest thing, and you know, if you put a set of texts in front of them, they would all fucking just crumble, melt into like fucking oblivion. You know, it's shocking, really, at the minute how things are, and you probably would never hear me talking about stuff like that unless I've had a few fucking swellies.
Yeah.
And today we were out at Gorb's funeral, you know, who was another absolute musical fucking lover, you know, and Folly Dust Boys everywhere. And today I'd met the people who we actually raved together 30 years ago, and we had the best time, the fucking absolute best time, just chatting about old times and bus trips we had places, and it was just that in my eyes is what it's all about. It's nostalgia, you know, and making memories, you know.
Yeah.
Not making millions, you know, making fucking memories, you know. Which in today's status is just fucking the total opposite. You know, it's they're wanting to make millions and not memories, you know. But I asked them all now, where will they be in 37 years' time?
Exactly.
If the DJ, no matter how big they are now, I've seen fucking guys who are fucking big, and 2 years later are not big. Where are they going to be in 37 years?
Exactly.
It's not about me. This is about fucking music, or what they want to fucking put in the music, you know. And after I announced my retirement, I've had so many messages from everybody, but some of the best messages have been from guys who are big now, saying, listen, we grew up fucking listening to your tapes, you know, and you were influential to us, influential. That was me slowing that down there. Where you were influential to us back in the 90s, you know. And these are fucking big DJs that's playing at big festivals now, you know, all over the country. And that to me, I just look and smile and say, listen, that's fucking brilliant. You know, that's really good. Sort of like kind of spurs us on, me especially, you know what I mean? But sometimes it feels as if I'm the guy that kind of carry on the can, you know.
Yeah.
There's nobody else out there, you know. There's no fucking guys out there going to me, apart from yourselves. You want a fucking gig, you know.
Yeah.
It's either I'm running a gig and involving them, you know, and that's the way it's been. You know, I don't give a fuck what anybody wants to say. You know, it's been me trying to keep it going and keep that vibe going, no matter what's been Harmony, Intelligence, fucking Kelly's, you know, Hennessy's. You know, you can through the years. You know, it's been me doing that. It hasn't been them.
Yeah.
You know, because it's my passion that drives me on. You know, it's not just about me. It's about the scene. You know, where other people have got that. The people who were dishing the stuff we were playing now is now accepting it. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention any names until I bring out the book. But you know, I can tell you 100 horror stories.
Well, just on your book, just reading into the chat here. We see Ray was went and played at my after party in the Garrison for my wedding in 2011. Can he commit to play for the 50th party in April 2028? I'll have to come out of retirement.
I know who that's from, like, and that was one of the best gigs we've ever been able to do. It was in the barn, and that was from fucking hell. His name is just fucking left me. It was his wedding party. Jesus Christ, he'll hate me for it. Like, and is it there a G in there? There's a G in there. It starts with G. Yeah. And I can see it fucking typing across my head here. Give me Dean Merritt. Dean Merritt. Dean Merritt. That's who it was. Was it Dean Merritt?
Let's see. We're waiting on the comment.
Dean Merritt was.
It also says that 100% the music in the old school is lost in Fermanagh. It's gone for years.
Dean
I
Merritt was,
remember first going to Annaskillen to play DJ with you in Willie Ramblers at the time in Fresh Underground. Like,
those are fucking brilliant times because Shaka, at that point of the game, everybody forgot about rave music.
yeah,
Everybody had forgot about like the intelligence days. This is, and that was us trying to resurrect again, and we always felt like, see, whenever we left Kelly's or we get sacked, we get kicked out of Kelly's, we call home. Sorry, Colin. That was fucking true. They kick out of Kelly's, they call, and even though we were still in work, going to different places around the country, whenever we were heading up a road, we always see the buses coming down to Kelly's.
yeah.
At that stage, you kind of knew yourself, right? We're fucked here. I might get working in WD Meats and maybe with Carson. I got a gig in fucking, I think it was, where the fuck was it again? Yeah, I'm trying to think it here. It was in between Sturban and fucking Oma. Anyway, the guy rang me to me fucking. I got put through from the office to say there's somebody wants you on the phone here, blah blah, and it was Sammy. His name was Sammy, and then he says, "Can you play this Saturday night for us?" Castle Durg, Sammy's in Castle Durg. And we got, Jesus, a bit short notice. Hey, and he goes, listen, it's all in the paper and all next week. And God love him, I would up there next week because there wasn't even a gig advertised. I came down that night, man. I was fucking crying my lumps out. When we Carson will tell you that. Totally vexed to like, fuck me, is this what it's become? Because that's what it was becoming. It was like the more you travel outwards, the more people were coming down to Kelly's to go to Lush, and
yes,
and that was fucking Dutton at the time. But you wipe your tears and you move on, and you try and make the best of it all. And I think possibly between the likes of 2002, Hugh McMenamin was doing things in Molly's and Oma and stuff, and they were calling them. If I can remember fucking straight, it was like, Jesus, what's the name of it again? He's probably, if you're a liver watcher, so he's probably going, it's called fucking Lost the Plot. That's what it's called. That's what it's called. Along with fucking him and Mark Lynch and me and Ben Mann and all. And that was 2002. So that was sort of like a resurrection of old school coming on, which was great because I'd been, after the shootings in Area 51 and stuff, I had sort of made my bed in Coleraine as a residency and Juicy and the Bullseye for fucking 3 or 4 years. So I didn't care about the rave scene anymore. I was trying to fit in, and just do what I love doing, was making people dance. And that's what's maybe lost for a lot of fucking young DJs now. It's not about them going out making people dance. It's like, going out and fucking make people take photographs of themselves.
Yeah, selfies.
I'm not dishing them all. I'm not in any way, because things move on. People move on, scenes move on, all the rest of it. But fuck's sake, keep the game in there.
Yeah.
Keep the DJ and fucking art within it. Don't be standing there fucking dancing on top of the decks.
Yeah. So that would that would take me on to the question with the vinyl and the DJ digital thoughts. So obviously in the 90s, everything's records. So, like, where were you getting your records? Were you getting your records sent to you because you were the resident Kellys? Then obviously now you're sitting there downloading it and you're a USB pen. I can hear Jerry shouting at the screen now, up the USBs, up the USBs. But
fucking love Jerry.
From the 90s, carrying all that vinyl. So you getting the tunes sent to you because you were the resident Kellys?
Yeah. That kind of takes me back to where like Brian Moore was in tracks where they were getting all the white labels and all, like maybe 6 months before different people. We actually became that. We actually got that, because we were DJing in Kelly's. And I did like boys like Marky G and Frankie Jones and like Commander Tom and stuff that put us on all the big labels back in the day, you know, and like you go on from now for the next 25 minutes and mention all them big labels, but we were getting them on a weekly basis. You know, one of the things I've told so many people was my dad used to shout up the stairs to me going, Raymond, there's one of them square circle things down here for you. Which is records, you know, that could have been coming from Lenny D, you know, in America.
Yeah.
Which didn't just send you one tune, they sent you 25 fucking songs, you know, on vinyl. That's where you kind of knew that you had maybe a bit of a stance on the scene.
Yeah.
You know, when you were getting stuff that you were maybe playing 6 months before anybody else.
Yeah.
You know, at the time, Simon had maybe finished playing it, or Gary had finished playing it, or myself, or Paddy, or Tizer, or there's loads of DJs that I mentioned there. You know, by the time that we'd finished playing it, it was only coming out fucking 6 months later.
Yeah.
Which is great for us because that means we were fucking staying ahead of the curve. You know, like Stevie from QFX kindly said not so long ago. Anytime he came over here, we were ahead of the curve. You know, we were ahead of what was actually happening within underground dance music, where he had the commercial side of things too, you know, which nowadays they're trying to mix the two.
Yeah.
You know, trying to put on Seth Fontaine and the fucking Venga Brothers in the same lineup. Never happened back in the day.
Yeah.
No, that would never happen. That was totally like fucking against anything you were about. You know, with mixing commercialism with fucking underground.
Yes.
You never got it. You know, there was two different scenes back then, which was underground, which was the fucking best scene, and then there was somebody who wanted to fucking go and listen to, and today's standards, Timmy Trumpet. You understand? You know, just Timmy Trumpet versus fucking Bin Man.
Yeah.
You know, which in my eyes was probably it was one of the most influential DJs that I'd ever heard. You know, because he was doing stuff different from any of the rest of them. You know, Glenn Malloy, another one. You know, Glenn was always different from fucking people. You know, and could have took a crowd in the palm of his hand like that.
Yeah,
delivered them. You know, fucking 45 an hour later to a different level. You know, and just going up the BPM and the way he delivered things was it was unreal at the time. And that inspired us all.
Yes.
It inspired us all to be who we wanted to be, but in our own way, you know. And that's what you have to look at, you know. Everybody now just wants to be famous, don't they?
That's it.
You know,
open up a TikTok and away we go.
Fucking, and I fucking hate social media more than I hate fucking darts.
I was going to say you were a good dart player, but
you know, fucking guys throwing fucking, you know, sharp obbies at a board. You know, you know, social media has just killed things, and even back in the day, with the NESW, which spurred things on, it kept things going, and I still love getting on the NESW and going, wow, there's a post fucking Bin Man made in 2000 fucking 6.
That was the thing.
You know?
that was the thing too. Like there was hundreds of people sitting in their bedrooms or whatever, logged onto the forum, and then like when you see DJ actually joined the forum, what? You know? Bin Man joined the forum. Paddy Fraser.
To me, that one, wow, somebody's uploaded one of my mixes.
Yeah.
What the fuck? This is crazy. I'm taking a fucking day off work here to just get into this place. I remember, like, I used to wake up, I used to go and fucking work on WD meets. You know, I had to open up at fucking 4:46 in the morning. But I remember getting up at like fucking 4:44 in the morning and going, wow, what's happening in NIO school? Oh my God, fucking these, man. Oh, there's a fucking mix of fucking Tizers, or there's a mix of Bin Mans. Download. And it took you like fucking a day and a half to download the mix, you know, not just the fucking full mix, but the fucking A side, you know. And it was
come back for the B,
revolution, and that's how I met you. You know, and you and Fisco, and like whenever fucking things weren't going my way, or the old school way. You guys were still trying to spur that on, and not just putting it on in a fucking nightclub, but you're trying to do it in a beach or a fucking old schoolhouse.
Yeah.
Where listen, some of the best nights, man, that I've had was like crawling over a fucking pigsty to get
The Love Shack.
airtight and pick people like that, you know, fucking guys that was fresh out on the scene at the time, you know, crawling over these fucking benches. Even Carson, who was in a wheelchair at the time,
Yeah,
and we were pushing him down 2 fields after that.
yeah, that's right.
Get to there like fucking schoolhouse. It was just like boom, boom, and Kyle Berserk by then, and Alan Banana Man, and fucking
That's
Tommy
right.
Renegade, yourself, Fesco Shaka, man, and your brother Jared, you know,
Yeah.
you know.
I know.
And then the music cutting out half fucking during the night because the generator had gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a ghost.
that was fucking priceless.
Yeah.
Totally priceless.
Good times.
Well, always be embedded in my age where that was fucking the calm before the storm. You know, the comeback of fucking old school, which has been just trickling back, you know, year by year, fucking, you know, decade by decade, which we're at now. We're selling out fucking stuff all over.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not for the fact it's just selling it out, it's just the fact I fucking loving music. Oh, look at me, I've sold out something. Never. That will never be my way of doing love. We're like, look at that. People still fucking love music.
Yeah. And that's it. That's the music.
Yeah, totally.
And go back to some of the chats here. Let's see. Yes, you got that correct. The name was correct. It was, and he wants to know: are you going to do 2020? You know, the anniversary.
Man,
you got the name. You got the name on the button too.
Team Merit, was it?
Paul Harper says the next 5 to 10 years is going to be scary times, as all the greats we know will no longer be here. Who is going to continue the legacy? Is there anyone who you see that could carry the legacy on?
Any young DJ or any older DJ that's out there is willing to play the sounds that's from back in the day, you know, and not try and make up, oh, look at me, I'm a fucking DJ. It's not about that. It's like, yeah, I'm a DJ, but I'm not front of the stage. I'm playing music here. You know, I'm not standing up in the middle of fucking spotlight with like fucking lasers coming out of my fucking eyeballs and like smoke machines coming out of my ears.
Yeah.
You know, that was never about that back in the day. You know what I mean? It was always, first and foremost, it was all about fucking playing music and not about getting into, which was fastly becoming a different scene.
Yeah.
You know, ego versus fucking music, you know, ego versus fucking talent, you know, and it's still got that, you know, it's, you can just see it seeping out of fucking DJs anymore, you know. Instead of having a set of decks, they're having a platform just for them standing on, to dance on and fucking rave on and go, look at us, we're fucking stupid cunts.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for saying that, but it's fucking so true, you know. Yeah, there's so much, mate. I could go on here all night and talk to you about the things that's happened in the past, and this is just a short fucking interview we're having tonight, which I gladly want to have, you know, especially in a day that spent the day at a funeral where I met so many people from the rave scene back in the day, and I haven't seen probably in fucking 15, 20 years, you know, possibly even more than that, you know, and we're all sharing experiences together.
Yeah.
This night, and there was never once, but remember the night you were standing on top of the fucking decks doing head spins? Because it never happened. It never fucking happened, you know. It was all about the music. It was all about the love of playing the music. It was the love of giving people the music that possibly haven't heard before.
And just looking out in that dance floor.
Until this fucking day, that's what it's about. There's tunes that I haven't heard it happen in the 90s that I'm still discovering, going, wow, what a fucking song. Yeah. And there's still fucking DJs out there that's holding on to songs that they know it hasn't been discovered yet.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's brilliant. I think it's fucking brilliant, you know. Yeah. But as soon as one of the new school DJs hears this shit, they're like going, oh, I'm putting a dump on that. And just ruin it, don't they? They just fucking ruin things for them, and they ruin things for them. And that isn't, in 37 years' time, where will you be DJing?
Timmy.
No, that goes to all fucking DJs, all walks of life. In 37 years' time, will you still be about the fucking music?
That's it. Another one, just while we have you, don't know downer, but the positives, we have to talk about Mallorca. You know, I never dreamed of playing on the same lineup as Mallorca, and when I did, I remember asking you, he says, "Well, you'll be fine, Mallorca's 100%, but obviously being from, Ultrasonic, he was probably like the Liam Gallagher to all
There's
us
that, like,
dance music. And I remember that night Molly's drinking Jack Daniels in the DJ box,
yeah.
and it was just, I'm
There's
sure
that
everyone in the
great,
chat know.
great
But
photograph.
everyone knows how close you were to Mallorca.
Well,
Is there one story
I
that,
first met Mallorca back in Kelly's, obviously,
yeah,
where they were doing the ultrasonic thing, and obviously I kept in touch with him, maybe telephone call or email to like today's fucking social media, So I always see him as a realist, always like loved it for the music, loved the vibe, loved the crowd, so much so like the Paul from fucking the DV crew always captured that vibe, on camera, and his passion is still high, For Mallorca, yeah, sadly passed away, but his music will never ever pass away, And he was probably one of the guys who you could have rang up, and for me, just being a fucking normal DJ, to ring up Mallorca and him answer the phone to me,
yeah,
that was a big thing, and maybe spend an hour trying to put the world to rights and who was the cunts and who wasn't the cunts, and that was the fucking truth, because there's so many cunts out there who's actually still running the dance scene at the minute.
yes,
And I mean, cunts with a fucking capital K. Boys that'll could try and go out there and do you out a gig, could try and fucking do you out of a night,
yeah,
because they want their ego to be scratched more, so they don't believe there's anything before 90s that there was in 1996. Oh, we were the first boys to do this. Fuck off. We were kings before they were, and I mean that in the best possible fucking way. There was no way I'll tell me, oh, I'm a king. There's no way I fucking do that. I look towards Tizer and fucking Bimman and Say and Paddy Fraser and James Brawley. They were kings to me, because they were out doing their own thing. And they all had their fucking own separate ways of doing things. And that's what worked that way. That really did. Nowadays, man, dancing on top of decks, playing something I don't want it was happening 15, fucking 25, 30 years ago. It was just total pish. Total shit. And you're saying that, like, if that was back in the day, they would be hit with bottles.
Yeah.
Or fucking sausage with red sauce on that I actually hit at one time. And I appreciate that. I appreciate people's feelings. A bottle or fucking red sauce, and
yeah,
there's so much stuff in my life that's happened that I haven't spoke about tonight. Getting to play in America and meeting Darren McMillan and fucking who took my tapes to America to Kid Dynamite, and
that's right. Yeah,
people like Brian Moore who gave me his first chance out, Alan Simpson who gave me a chance, Ian and Tony from Harmony gave me a chance, Hector and Paul from Intelligence, all give me a chance to prove myself. Which I hopefully they know that I've tried to prove myself, and I'm still here today talking about it to somebody like you who still appreciates fucking music, and I've helped so many people over the years. And some people who've come with me on that journey, and some people have turned against me.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, their own paranoia or whatever. X-rays, this or X-ray was somebody that fucking helped you.
Exactly.
I can think about myself as somebody who wanted you to experience what I've experienced.
It's like I mightn't have spoke to you for 8 months, but I knew a ring you would answer.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yes, man.
I know that.
Listen, Nordally, me and you probably haven't spoke in about 10 years until the gig last May.
Man, yeah.
Fucking, I remember the nights that we had and Dundrum along with these guys were the fucking first. You were innovators as well, trying to bring this sound in that nobody had heard before. But
Yeah.
see, 15, 20 years later, the likes of Lush was trying to capitalize on what you were doing fucking 15 years before them. You know, and that wasn't about, oh, look at us, we only play house music or we only play progressive and all the rest of it. That was like, we fucking need the money.
That's it.
We need the fucking dough in here. We need we need to be bringing this guy, and you know, and they were letting these guys, but you know, and today's status, people will, some clubs will play £8,000 for a DJ. It only fills a place, and I want to give us fucking 500 for fucking packing it out.
Yeah, absolutely. That's mental.
Fucking crazy. I've just always, my dad always said to me, no, don't get too involved in the fucking music scene. You know, you got a job there, stick with that job. And listen, I totally went against his advice because I followed my heart. I wanted to just make people dance. And then the money man came out and fucking ruined it. Listen, I can name you all.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fucking money man. And I will name you all. Believe you fucking me, and I'll look at this camera and tell this, I will name you all at one point of the game to tell you what sort of fucking misogynistic bastards you really are.
Exactly. Back to the chat. There is Shim Sham says Ray and Binman played my 21st birthday.
Shim Sham, that's Saran.
Yeah, we all love Ray and all the effort you've put in, especially keeping the reunions, keeping the old school alive for us over 40s. Can't wait to read the book, Ray.
I think maybe we're both over 50 now, but I know Shim Sham, I think that's Saran. If I'm right, fucking tell me if I'm wrong. Put me in there. That's right.
Yeah. Just so your old school takeover. So well, we chat about that then. So when did that come about?
That came about as a vibe where you were sitting in the house wanting to do something and nothing else was happening, so you wanted to fucking go for a wee brand. And initially it started off as just maybe me going on and doing stuff online and blah blah, but it was over lockdown that it became something about something else. It was about people who love old school. It wasn't about me anymore, and that's why for like maybe 14 months of over lockdown, I never fucking even played an old school takeover. It was all about other DJs, you know, and I give loads of fucking DJs who never had a gig before a chance to come on and fucking do their do, you know. And that was another fucking case where like people looked at that as like, oh yeah, I'll do that, yeah, but then I'm going to copy him. You know, I'll just copy him what he's doing there, and I'll take all the fucking DJs that he's using. You know, I'm going to fucking call it something else. You know, even though you give them a chance to come out and do what they want to do. No, and this is DJs as well who I actually fucking give loads of bookings to over the years as well. Actually turned their back on me. For what?
Yeah.
Because they thought they were going to get something better off somebody else, which never materialized, you know. And it just, it hasn't, as I say, I can stand here and name names all fucking day about the cunts, about who's running the dance scene. You know, and I mean that.
Yeah.
You know, I can name you fucking names, and I will name them. I will fucking name them all at one point of the game. But not tonight. Fortunately for them, not tonight. You know, maybe in the old school takeover tomorrow night. but no, man, first and foremost, Stephen, I love music.
Yeah.
I don't love drama. Drama is the last thing that I want involved in anything I'm doing, you know. I can go on there and old school takeover on a Friday night and just be myself and play not just fucking X-Ray and Silent, but man stuff, you know, later tonight. Playing Chris Hurley stuff and playing Glenn Malloy stuff and playing stuff that I've experienced as a DJ going, wow, is that not a brilliant song? You know, and that's what, you know, gets your fucking goosebumps still going.
Yeah.
Even though I'm fucking 52 now and goosebumps are inverted. So, you know, he's sort of feel cold now, you know, going, oh, Jesus Christ, a cup of coffee, please, before oh, Jesus. You know, to me, man, I'll always be that way until the day I fucking pass from this earth. It'll always be about music. And the reason why I'm retiring this year is because it's just full of crooks. It's full of fucking backstabbers and people who you've helped to the fucking ends of the earth want to take a piece of you. For why? For loving music. Oh, come on, guys. We never got fucking booked for Planet Love 2-3 years ago because we were intelligence DJs. That was it. Nothing else. They were booking every DJ under the sun, apart from me and Simon and Ben Man and Paddy Fraser and boys like that, because we weren't worthy of their fucking stature. Even though we played for fucking Planet Love for fucking 10 years, who were only offered £100 a fucking night, where they were paying hundreds of £1,000s for DJs. It's a fucking sad state of affairs. A fucking sad state of affairs.
I hope you got free drinks.
I wasn't thought about because one playing. It's because the fucking level of DJs that they were booking. That was gotten. Had fuck all to do in Northern Ireland dance music.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with it at all. Just put them on so we don't have to fucking put these boys on.
But then you can go on YouTube, you look at 2006, Ronnie who can't bong for you, bong for them.
NA Old School was a big thing on the fucking Planet Love sketch, by the way. If it wasn't for Coffee and the fucking guys that done their thing on that there wouldn't have been that.
Yeah.
Because they would never came to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly, because it was their ego that was attached to their fucking money. That was it. I don't give a fuck. Listen, I could talk about it all day. I could turn around and say, listen, this is fucking why dancing is in this fucking state, because it is. It's because these egotistic bastards that doesn't even love music. They love money.
That's it.
Where are they all now? Where's fucking such and such and such and such now when it matters? They're not fucking there, are they? Fuck, nah. They're away living their own wee silly lives that doesn't involve fucking dance music anymore. True, Bill. True.
And let's see, back in the chat here, best of the times is the lockdown crew. Ray got us through some hard times and got us all going out to gigs again. He's too young to retire. Phyllis McGuire is lockdown. Bill built the family and precious friend through it. Old school takeover. Your friend who wants you to do the reunion is ask Ray, can we buy his hoodie up the Garrison Fermanagh crew?
This one.
We're gonna auction it off tonight, lads. Before we go.
I'll fucking take a half now. There you go.
Bertie McCauley says
you can actually have it. I'll fucking give it to you for none.
Bertie McCauley says, Ray,
this is me. Bertie. Fucking love me, Bertie.
He says, Ray, give me a chance. Yeah, absolute legend he is. Give me a chance.
Good DJ, Bertie.
Stevie Trainer says, nothing like goosebumps sharing the stage side by side with this hero of a man who give me the life opportunity to share what I love with everyone else.
As I've tried to do with like loads of DJs over the years, if you see fucking great talent and you think that things is, and I know people's probably going to be listening going, you never give me a shout. But you need to prove it, man. You just can't have the spiel in your mouth saying, I'm better than this or I'm better than that. You need to prove it. You need to prove your passion. Prove that fucking what you're doing is not just about ego. It's about fucking music, And I don't fucking direct that at anybody specific, but yeah, there's still that fucking element of DJs out there that just wants to be looked at as famous. Look at me, look at me, man, I'm famous. It shouldn't happen like that, It should happen to fucking talent, and not with the many people you have fucking following on Instagram,
Yeah, and TikToks.
Who you should like be thinking, going, oh my god, I have to follow him or I want to be like him. Be yourself.
That's it. Yeah, 100%.
No, fucking do yourself. Do which has been the fucking the best way of being things. Is like be different. Throughout the years, you've seen it all, man. And there's fucking hundreds of names you can mention that was there way before me, you know, and you wanted to fucking even you inspired to be like them, but not totally like them.
Yeah. And on that, if I was asked you, who was your favorite DJ?
Carl Cox.
Car.
Carl Cox, without a shadow of a doubt, and a total whole, you know, as a DJ, as a fucking person, you know, somebody you could have a conversation with and go, wow, I'm fucking talking to Carl Cox. You know, a fucking mad dream the other night, man. And I woke up like, and I always has this dream, and it was like, I got on a bus from Coleraine to Windy Hall, but Carl Cox was the bus driver. Right, and he asked me, could I get him a bag of weed? So I'm like, fucking course I can, Carl. You know, let me fucking sort you out. So I'm like, oh, you remember me? He goes, yeah, man, you're fucking excellent, Gillies. This was a dream. So I'm like, can I take a selfie with you? You know, when he's like, yeah, of course. I'm taking a fucking selfie with him. You know, and as soon as I fucking click that selfie button, the dream ended, right? And the first thing I fucking wanted to do was look at my phone to see whether the fuck is phone. And the photo wasn't there. It was a fucking dream.
Yeah.
It's a fucking mad dream that I was having, just going, wow, this is fucking crazy. But I asked AI to make a photograph of that, and like if I can find it now, like I'll send it to you. It's just
Brilliant.
Carl Cox fucking driving an ulcer bus with a joint hanging out.
At least you got it back, suppose.
But yeah, it's like, man, it's all about music for me, and always will be.
Yeah. You can see that, Ray, as well. Like, back on the chat, Johnny M says, I'm with you, Ray, on that one as well. We did Planet Love together for the good part of 13 years together out in Shane's Castle, and we were blanked out over the past number of years.
Yeah. But listen,
Johnny M wants to know, can he MC for you on Saturday night? Jerry says no. Vesco says no MC. No MC
Johnny,
allowed.
no problem at all. Johnny, fucking love Johnny, man. Again, he's another realist. He loves his music. You know, he loves even before probably Johnny was a DJ, was an MC. But over the years, I've grown to know him as just a music lover. I'm not fucking trying to blow smoke out of his arse. Like, yeah, he's always been a vinyl fucking purist. And we've shared the stage so many times. We really have. And I love Johnny, even though he thinks I'm a Rangers fan, which if he hates Scottish football. That was a joke.
Are you there, Johnny?
Oh, joking aside, Johnny, that was a joke, mate.
And then Ray, I don't know if you would have a favorite tune. Maybe pick 3 tunes. Like Birdie's in there. Macaulay wants to know what your favorite tune is. But maybe if you had 3 tunes to pick.
I'll take Gary Josh, Freaky Dreamer. That's early stage. Middle of the road would probably be Viewfinder Back to Front, which is a big Malloy tune. And then like just picking one out of the fucking brand would be like from the later years would be Sequential Ones, Dance, you know, and that's taking it right up on a level where, you know, you're going from
bet for everyone.
130 BPM to fucking 140 BPM, 170 BPM. Sorry.
Would Timmy Trumpet fit in the set list?
Well, they fucking jumping through a stage.
Let me see back Car Cox driving an Ulster bus. Everyone's loving it. That we can't beat the shirt. Can't beat the shirt.
No, he was driving an Ulster bus. He wasn't even playing on it. He was, he was driving it. He was giving me a lift. You know, and that's the crazy dreams you have when you're 52.
Yeah. What else we got here? Paul Harper again is the only reason I keep trying to DJ is that I want to try and teach my kids the art of music and DJing. I want them to experience that little bit of what we experience, one memory for them.
That's fucking brilliant because my dad always used to think it was flat tire music we were playing. You know, because that flat tire music, because he was brought up in jazz and big band music and all the rest of it. So even for him to hear something as like as futuristic and electronic as what dance music was, he fucking hated it. You know, so
Yeah.
I'm glad that somebody's given their kids something of a vibe to go on, you know.
Yeah.
Even though I love what my dad's influence was, but he just didn't like flat tire music, did he? He fucking didn't.
If there was one event, Ray, from back in the day, you would love to do it, you know, you get them records out again, right? Let's do this night all over again with them DJs, you know, what would it be?
There's like 100 to choose from, but probably picking one out of the fucking era would be the night that we done the Eternity magazine night, and it was Gail Sand, Mark Spoon was meant to play there. I didn't turn up. Frank the Wolf didn't want to go on the decks because they were fucking on two police brocks. That was a fucking brilliant night because it brought so many people together. Where the exchange from what we're doing with the harmony, you know, which was a bit more commercial, fucking pumping sort of gear to like a hard trance sort of sound, which was down the gear to Hector and Paul, bringing that sound to Intelligence, bringing that sound to Kelly's. Like I think '94 was one of the best years we had with the hard trance on it before they started to amalgamate in the likes of happy hardcore and things like that, which we all tried to adjust to, you know what I mean? But in my age, Big Ben Man was one of the guys that could play it all, and kind of steer it that way. You know, he steered me, or probably steered Simon, Paddy, all the rest of it through the years. He was kind of a futuristic sort of fucking boy. After the Glenn and the Chris thing that was happening, that would have been the kind of vibe between 1994 and 95, where the hard trance thing was happening. Everyone was fresh, and all the white labels we were getting from fucking places, you know, we were playing them maybe 6 months before anybody else was playing them. You know, the likes of Mark G was putting us on, and the M Zone was putting us on fucking the promo lists, and you know, I was always a lazy bastard and never replied back to him because he never.
But like Fisco,
yeah, a bit like probably all the DJs out there, you know, apart from Brian Moore. You know, every fucking stamp you see on a second-hand shop now is a second-hand shop has got Brian Moore on it. You know, this was owned by Brian Moore of Tracks Nightclub.
And obviously the gent on the event. What about the one tape? If you were to pick the one tape that
I kind of like personally, probably X-Ray Files 2. I think that's probably what I've done the best mixing on, because for some DJs they maybe went in there and made it an 8-track mixing recorder and recorded one track and then mix it another on so on and so forth. Where I didn't have that. I sort of up there and off the cuff, and if I started off with one tune and it didn't work, I was like, right, we start it off again. start another tune here, you know. Yeah, that's just the way things fucking prevailed on it all, really, from the mixing type of things. And yeah, back at that stage, I'm still learning. I'm still learning now, you know, fucking, and I think I'll never stop learning. You know, as a DJ, you'll never stop learning.
Yeah,
you'll
absolutely.
never be that guy that you want to be until you actually fucking are him.
Yeah.
You know, I know that says you'd be a square circle, but you know, you'll get that stage of going, yeah, I'm fucking good enough now, or ever. Even though I still think that I'm my own worst fucking critic, you know, where I'll probably never think I was good enough. I never think I will be good enough. But what I want to do is like still make people listen to the music.
Yeah, absolutely. Back in the chat here before we finish up, Bertie McCauley says NIM 13. Also, Ray, when you coming back to Fermanagh?
Fermanagh, I'm actually doing one of my last gigs in Fermanagh as a birthday party for Wee Kieran. And that is a date where, I know about it on fucking Messenger, but I just don't know about it.
Yeah, you will be there.
I'll be back in Fermanagh, for Kieran's birthday party.
Bertie says, I love you, Ray. You're an absolute legend. I wish you all the best. Bertie, I wish you all the best for the future, pal. And
Right.
on that, what does the future hold for Ray? So
Well,
we get 2025 out of the way. What is 2026 going?
from like fucking last year, I started a new job working in close to home here, and I'm loving it. So I'm not relying on DJing anymore. I'm not relying as I've been for the last fucking 30 years. Relying on it as a job, relying on it as a fucking, somebody finance your way of living, finance your fucking lifestyle. It's not about that anymore for me. I've turned down multiple gigs this year because I just didn't feel it. I didn't feel the vibe. I just think people's maybe been looking to go, this is last year, get them in.
Yeah.
To me, that's bullshit. Any gigs I'm doing this year is because I'm DJing for people who I know wants to hear me, promoters who wants to promote me still to this day, yourselves, old school, Kelly's, the stuff we were doing down there, the stuff that we're going to be doing intelligence very soon as well. And like I put up a post there about the intelligence thing. Like I never even asked the guys from intelligence that we're going to do. I just wanted to put it out there. Let the people decide.
Yeah.
And not us go, well, this is build bridges. I know there's been a lot of fucking bridges burned between a lot of fucking things over the years, not just myself or Kelly's or fucking whoever, build bridges, life's too short. And today was one of the things where we're at somebody's funeral and life is too short. It really is. Ryan, who fucking died fucking last week, a massive fucking lover of old school. And he never went to an old school rave in his life. He wasn't there back in the day. He was just somebody who grew up with the tapes, grew up with the atmosphere, grew up with that energy, who you'll never compete against, and just to see everybody there the day and my fucking face was so smiling and laughing because even though we're a funeral and an after wake, the stories that we're going about was just fucking immense. Big shout out to Parky, Kunda, Big Ben, Wee Bill, Mark from Big Al's Pizza in Ballymena. That's 10% off for me.
Bring one up the road on Saturday.
Lisa, Big Kirky, fucking Saran, Big Stork, Amanda. There was just loads of people there the day. It was just out, Andy and Claire's bin man. We were just all sat around the table just shooting the shit, man, with people. And that's why it was so late to do this today, because it was so great a crack.
I told everyone you're ironing your good shirt, and then you pull up with a hoodie.
Big hairy armpits and all.
Lenny in the chat, who's playing on Saturday night, says, "Don't forget my record, Shaka, please. Signed by Ray."
Jesus,
he's looking a bit of vinyl. You take off the road.
You pick it, I'll sign it. Lenny, hope you're good, mate. Well, listen, I can't wait to be there Saturday night.
I'm just going to finish on that. Like, so what can we expect on Saturday night?
I don't know, man. You can expect
off the cuff.
Off the cuff, yeah, totally off the cuff. I've never been a DJ that's been out there and going right. I'm sort of playing this. I think really you have to feel the dance floor, and that's I think that's the best way as any DJ, unless you're an Instagram DJ. That you have to fucking feel that. You have to be there in the moment to experience. Whatever experience they're giving you, you have to give them. No matter if it's a fucking cheer or a clap or just something simple that makes you realize that you're there for them, and that's what it's all about. You are there for fucking the people that's booking you, the people that's coming to go on the dance floor for you. Something that's been totally lost within the last fucking 15 years of dance music, in my eyes. But whatever is be may be.
Yeah.
You know,
We'll just round off a few questions here. So, Destruction and Melting Point was my favorite. Destruction, my favorite. Lot for that.
yeah,
Charles
they were
Lowry
good.
says, "What is the worst gig you've ever done, Ray?"
Jesus Christ, hasn't the Altitude Bridge. We were all playing there one night, and like, I'm not going to fucking mince my words here. Like, it was kind of Altitude Bridge was a place where Protestants shouldn't go. So we ended up going, and the guy, the MC from fucking announced me from all the way from Korean, and people just seen that as a trigger point. And some people come up around and fucking challenge me as was it Irish or was it British? That's the kind of thing that needs to be kept out of dance music, you know, as a religion, you know, because it was never anything to do with it back in the day.
Yeah.
Elkin fucking Toon Bridge, yeah. Suck it 2 years, you fucking cunts. And I don't mean that in any derogatory way. You know, that's the way it approached me. But yeah, you asked the question, and that's what was fucking told to you. Like I've been in like so many places over the years that maybe should have been that way, which never was. You know, up and down the country, there was never any animosity from clubs or people in my lifetime other than that. You know, and this is maybe 2 years afterwards to finish playing in Kelly's. You know, so it was a younger generation coming up, fucking bred on something else. And listen, I'm a Protestant. I'm not a practicing fucking Protestant in any way. I just feel that all religion is fucking man-made. You know, you're meant to like follow this certain thing where like music is a fucking universal language of love. You know, and that I always have tried to spread that. You know, and I don't really bring it into religion in any form or fashion, but it is what it is. You know, and there was a load of people before dance music came out that I actually knew who wiped out religion after they first listen to dance music, you know, and what feeling it created between people. You know, well, I think that's a good way to end things tonight because that's so true. I've got and no matter what your faith is or your religion, I've got friends in fucking all sides of the divide, north, south, east, and west. You know, and there you go, north, south, east, and west.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, and I mean that like, and that was fucking just off a cuff, but that's to me is you need to like get back to that. I know I'll never be that way. I know maybe there may be some young DJs out there, right, who will listen to this in 10 years' time and probably realize, you know what, he's speaking about a sense there.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just going back to the way it was, you know, Christianity in a whole, no matter what you were, fucking Catholic or Protestant, whatever, we're all a threat. The way things is going in this world, you know.
Yeah.
And music will hopefully be our savior.
Well, let's finish with a couple of more. Your tapes and mixes got me into DJing. I always looked up to you, Ray. Thank you. That was from Philly. Shal says, music is the answer. Music is the cure. Absolutely. So everyone, Ray, agreeing with you as we would have thought. Like, so just to wrap it up, I want to thank you personally for joining us tonight.
Thank you for putting up with my like total ignorance of like doing a Zoom call.
We got there in the end, like
up as well.
we got there in the end, and I can't wait again, as I said to you, on Saturday to share the stage with you again, as well as all the other DJs are in the chat.
Don't forget tomorrow night at 9 p.m. the Old School Takeover.
That's it. Everyone get tuned in for that. Get ready for Saturday night. I want to thank everyone in the chat and all for sending the questions and all the loves, and
thank you very much.
Hope you enjoyed it. And anyone who's going to Newcastle on Saturday night, as I say, you'll see Big Ray there anyway. There's a whole host of going on all day. There's a record fair from 11 to 4.
That's Belfast, by the way.
Underground.
I'm only actually up for that, like, see Big
and then You can all go
That'll be
get a
really
wee
cool.
burger, and then the club will be ready from 5:30, and everything will be ready from 5:30, and that's all go from there. Like, so it's going to be a good day, and the weather's going to be good. So
Totally.
yeah, you can
Oh,
go down
go
buy
ahead,
some
Mara,
records. Yeah, that's it. Bring a tent if you want a tent in
Instead of
Bannock
DJ Barra, DJ Shaka.
Park. All right, thank you very much, and
Shaka, thank
I'll speak to
you.
you on the other side.
No problem at all.
All right, now.
How
Thank
long
you.
was that, by the way? You, me, 10:50.